to make a little video here while I've got some drive time. I actually got plenty of time. I'm about 100 miles west of I-40, headed towards St. Louis. Man, there's a lot going on. A lot of things going on. I went from Tennessee to Indiana, picked up a trailer. So I left on Friday. Yeah, today's Wednesday. I left last Friday, went up to Middlebury. I left Indiana, Saturday morning, made the long drive to Fort Morgan, Colorado. So I went across, a few states there, a couple of states, Iowa, Nebraska, Illinois. And I noticed on my way out at the Illinois-Indiana border, something was going on Interstate 80, or 80 and 94, right there. I think it's called Frontage or whatever that little spot is, south of Chicago. We had a lot of Indiana State Troopers on the interstate there. Google said it was a wreck, but that's not what it was. I think they were getting ready for a possible protest. I noticed, some squad cars, law enforcement vehicles up on the overpasses as I went by. Folks, some things have got to change in this country. I don't know what it's going to take. I don't sit here and say that I have all the answers, but on the way back, I didn't go back to Indiana. I needed to go back and get another load. But my dispatcher told me that, I didn't need to use Interstate 80 right there coming underneath Chicago again. A good buddy of mine that I do this with said that, I think it was yesterday afternoon, there was a planned protest to shut the interstate down on 80 and 94 at like 1600 at 4 o'clock, because of the protest. So I just came back southeast, and I'm headed home. And I needed to go get another load. I really did. And I hope this is over soon, because, next week I need to go get something and run it. The point I'm making is, if you're out here looting, rioting, beating people to death, or beating them within inches of their life or worse, killing them, and that's happened a couple times, you're wrong. If you're doing a peaceful protest, that's a hindrance to the rest of us. But I get it, and you have a First Amendment right to do that as long as you're peaceful. But once you step outside of that, and you throw a brick, and you throw a rock, and you harm someone else, or especially you harm another human being, or you damage someone's personal property or their business, you're wrong. You're a criminal. And I think part of the problem today, but it's not just today, it's been for a long time now, you've got people, there's too many classes in this country. I'm in my mid-40s now. I can, when I was growing up, you had basically 3 classes of people. You had what was considered poor, what was considered middle class, and then you had what was considered the rich. If you'll look and think about it, and the videos, you're seeing them, the people that are committing these crimes are not in the upper echelon. They're not on top. What you have now is a war. I don't know anything else to call it, or it's, and if it's not, it's a step away from a war between the welfare class and the middle class, and maybe some upper middle class, but people that own businesses. It's not right. I'm going to tell you right now, and if it doesn't, if things don't slow down, I'd heard today that some of it slowed down some, and that's good. And I hope it does. I hope it stops. Because you were about to see, and you may still yet, I pray that it doesn't happen, but You want to know why you need an AR? You want to know why you need an AR that can take a mag that'll hold 30 rounds? All you got to do is watch the news. And you'll answer that question right then and there. When you're seeing scenes of people being beaten by, 5, 8, 10 people or more beating on one individual, that's why. And I find it interesting that I've heard it from at least 3 people in the last 24 hours about some of these anti-gun, anti-this, Second Amendment, all guns are bad, get rid of them all. They've been asking some people, hey, can I borrow a gun? You got a few, can I borrow one? Let that sink in for a minute. Because the ones, and I don't know how big this thing is, as far as who's behind organizing all this chaos. And I'm not going to sit here and, drum up a conspiracy theory to say that what happened in Minnesota was planned. I don't believe that at all. I simply believe what I saw. I believe, and I've spoken with friends of mine in law enforcement. I've spoken with people that I've served with in the military. And I did military police myself and went through some LEO training. I've never seen anything like that. And that guy, that officer, for putting his knee on the man's neck, he deserves as much punishment as he can possibly get. But I'm just not sure that that's going to be enough to fix it. When I hear people, and they seem to be somewhere running around in the age range of the millennials and younger, and like I said, and of the welfare class, the people that are, because if you got something to do all day, if you got a job or a family to take care of, you're not going to be out all hours of the night looting and rioting and busting out windows and beating the hell out of people. I'm going to try to watch the language because, I don't know, different people listen. But anyway, the officer deserves to be punished fully for what he did. And he's a disgrace to the police department, officers all over the country, that the ones that try to do the job right, that try to, work hard to do the right thing with the public and for the public. You've got some standouts like this guy, and I'm sure there's quite a few of them. But that guy is not the face of police departments all over this nation, sheriff's departments, highway patrol. That man doesn't represent that. And I'll promise you, if he goes to prison, it's going to be bad. It's going to be real bad for him if he ends up in, and he will. Most likely he will. But again, I'm not sure that what would satisfy the crowd, the mob. What would do that? He's been charged. He's been fired. He lost his job. He's been charged, with a crime. And now we wait. That's what happens. That's how the process works. That's how it works. But I can tell you this, in the meantime, the looting and the rioting and the violence against innocent people and business owners, burning down a church, for God's sake. And I'm sick and tired of hearing about Donald Trump this or that, or the right this, the left that. We're talking about America. We're not talking about your flavor of politics. All I can say is arm yourself, be vigilant, be safe. And I'm not even happy to, I'd rather, not that I don't want to talk to anybody, but I'd rather listen to the radio or listen to something on YouTube, a documentary or something I enjoy, I don't know, instead of talking about this. But I've been from Indiana to Illinois to Iowa to Nebraska out to Colorado, back the same way, came down through Missouri and headed back to Tennessee when I needed to go get a load. But I'll be honest with you, I didn't feel good about it with all the violence going on. But Lord willing, I'll make it home tonight. But It's just, it's insanity and it has to stop. So, all right, everyone stay safe.